Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. If you have an ant problem, call Southeast Termite and Pest Control. If you have yellow jackets in your yard, mosquitoes in your yard, Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Even if you find a possum late at night sitting on a sofa in your house, as one of our Sports Source regulars did, call the Wildlife Division of Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Family owned for nearly 50 years. Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Give them a shout. That's what Bob Hodge should have done when the possum found its way into his house. It's a great story. All right. As I said in the last segment, all of us ranked the 5 guys we felt were the most important for the season. What I did was I compiled the list. If someone was ranked number 1 on a list, they got 1 point. So the lower the point total, the better. I tallied all that up. The most important player or assistant coach, not named Pruitt, because the only guy, the head coach, we couldn't include. Number 1 most important, new offensive coordinator, Jim Chaney. Won the rally. Thoughts on Chaney deserving the most important role? Who took him number 1? Anyone on their list? Do you remember?
I had him midway.
I had him number 2.
He's on everybody's list. He's one of the few that made every list. Okay.
I had him too. I think he deserves to be high because the one, he's got a great track record. 2, he's going to get playmakers on the field, and you're not going to have you're going to have him adjusting the offense to the strength of what his players can do, which is something that
Didn't happen.
that has not happened. 2 good running backs, one's on the bench and one's on the field. So I think you're going to alleviate some of those things, and the OC can help out. I think masking to a certain extent an offensive line that has struggled.
Even as, we're media guys, but I think if you ask fans to do it, they would have Chaney maybe number 1, 2, and I think part of that is wishful thinking, just optimism, hoping that he's
Exactly.
the magic dust.
I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, and I still think it's true. Have we set the expectations too high for Jim Chaney? There are a lot of people who think he's going to come in and fix it immediately. I think he's a tremendous offensive coordinator. He was the absolute home run, perfect number 1 hire I think they could have made. But I don't know that you can just walk right in and fix everything that ailed that offense last year, especially when you consider the offensive line that he's inheriting.
Just walking in, look at how much turnovers there have been with the offensive coordinator position at Tennessee. And this brings, I hope, you would think, some stability. Somebody who's been here before, but also somebody who's been successful in your division and has been at Tennessee before. So there's a lot of things there why, he's got to be one of those top ones.
All right, number 2 on our list, and I'm surprised he didn't get number 1, but he didn't, Jarrett Garantano. So it's Chaney and Garantano, which if you'd told me ahead of time who would be the top 2, I would have thought Garantano and then Chaney, just because most people look at the quarterback, and you've got this coordinator who's taken all the pub this year that everybody's popped up about. But Garantano, David, you didn't talk on Chaney. I'm going to throw it to you here because you really had Garantano low on your list.
I almost didn't have him on my top 5. I think he's there. I just think he is going to be who he's going to be. I think he has a lot of potential, but he could regress this year, and Tennessee could be a better team. He could put up better numbers. I just don't think there's that much pressure on him because he just got so little help in front of him. When you don't have the running game to really help you out, when you're constantly taking snaps on 2nd and 12, you just can't do a whole lot, and I think he'll be fine. I just think if he just does what he did last year, or like I said, even maybe he takes a step back, which I don't think he necessarily will, but if he does that, Tennessee's still going to be fine. I don't think he needs to do anything superhuman. It's on the offensive line.
So eyebrows raised, Chuck. Disagree?
I hope he doesn't regress. I mean, I think for what he's done and with this system, you want him to play at least at that level. If he takes a step back, to me, the offense takes a step back.
A lot of fans have said you can't win with Jarrett Garantano. I don't think that's fair. I've seen that a lot. That's social media stuff. But because you've seen them lose with him out there, people are, well, it's on the quarterback. And I get that. If the quarterback wins, people give him the credit. If you lose, the quarterback gets the blame. But I think that's awfully short-sighted because when you consider everything that's around him, the numbers we showed earlier with the offensive line, I don't think that's quite fair. On the other hand, Vince, what is his potential? How high can he go? Do you think there's some – do you think Chaney and Chris Weinke are going to be able to tap into something that no one's seen? Because I expected – you're talking about a guy who was number 1 or number 2 as the number 2 as a scrambling quarterback, as a recruit coming out. He was the combo-style quarterback. He hasn't looked like a scrambler at all.
No.
And look at his high school tape. He was a
No.
lot faster against those New Jersey high school kids than he has been against SEC athletes. What is his potential? Is there an untapped well there?
I think there is a potential to be better. I don't know if it's high round NFL draft special, but if he is better, I think that can have an impact both in productivity, throws in tight windows, decision making. I think a quarterback that is really, really good, and I think he can get to that level, can make up for other things that they have issues with, and it can give your team confidence. I don't think he was able to really slide protections and get them in the right. You guys were talking about last segment, and so I think he can make differences in small little things, even if he isn't special. But that position can influence everybody on the team. So that's why I actually had him at number one.
Yeah.
One thing I find interesting that we won't know until we're watching these games, and even then we're not going to know if this was the cause of it, but 3 offensive coordinators, multiple systems in his time.
Well,
He's working on learning the system and getting it down. The question becomes, when he's in the pocket and the bullets are flying, is he processing only this system? Or is there a little of that fog that creeps in? It's like, okay, he's supposed to be here and he's supposed to be there. There are a lot of pro quarterbacks who have been undone by continuing changes and revolutions at the offensive coordinator slot and in offensive changes. I don't think we're talking about that one enough this offseason. I will be interested to see how he develops in terms of picking up this system. Does he look night and day better, or does it scramble his brain a bit? Because I think that's a real possibility for a guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. When we come back, so Chaney 1, Garantano 2. Next is a guy I didn't have on my list. He was on everybody else's list. So who was I right about? Who are they wrong about? Come on back on the Sports Source.